Hi everyone, I'm Vandana Rai from Immigration Advisors New Zealand. Good day for New Zealand today. We moved down to alert level 2 and I'm sure businesses would soon be running as usual. That's one thing that we've all been waiting eagerly and really happy for that to happen. We did receive an update from immigration yesterday and that was the reason for me making this video today. There are a few updates and few additional requirements that have been announced, and I'll just try and explain them to all of you. First thing, the good news for all those who have submitted the residence application or were in the process of submitting one. Immigration is returning to work from today, so 70% of the officers onshore would be working, and what that means is that the paper applications would also be processed, and residence is one of them. The residence application for all you applicants who are onshore holds the first priority, so that's another good news. And the second priority goes to the applicants who are currently offshore with their residence under process. From all of you onshore, again the applications would further be prioritized for all of you who have a job offer for an occupation which requires a registration, or who have been offered a remuneration which is twice the median income. And all others would also be processed who are onshore. That holds the first priority for immigration. So that was one good news I wanted to give. Second thing I wanted to inform was that immigration has informed that the applications are being accepted by NADO, and for all those paper applications that are being received, they would be accepted as the date the courier is received with them. So if you got an ITA expiring soon, please go ahead and submit your application. If there are some documents which you are unable to gather, please explain what it is. Please explain why are you not able to get them. Please explain by when do you expect to get them, and go ahead and submit your application as soon as you are able to. Another information that I have for all those essential skills work visa holders who were thinking of changing their employment. So another clarity which immigration has given is for all of you who are not working in essential services and have submitted a VOC, a variation of condition, or are thinking of changing employment, please be aware that you can only change your employment if your variation of condition is approved. So please don't end up breaching any of your visa conditions unintentionally. Make sure that you inform immigration of the change that you're wanting to do, and make sure that you work on with your new employment only when the variation of condition is approved. By then, you must work as per the employment, as per the visa condition listed on your visa. Make sure that you don't end up breaching any of your visa conditions there. An additional requirement which we have been informed last evening is that the visa officer may ask for additional information on the labor market test when they start processing the application. They may ask for information on the sustainability of the employment. They may ask for information on that no availability of New Zealanders still to take up that role. That is an additional requirement they may ask even at the time of processing the application. I'm getting a lot of questions on why is the need for this change? Why is this additional requirement? I'll just explain. With this COVID-19, the labor market has changed in New Zealand. A lot of New Zealanders have lost their job, and what immigration is trying to convey is that the visa officer needs to be really sure that actually New Zealanders are not available to take up the position when they are granting this essential skills work visa. Earlier, what happened was when somebody submitted the application, these requirements were still there, and they have always been there. That's part of the essential skills application, and it was presumed that the labor market is still the same. That was presumed that whatever evidence that have been submitted of the advertisement to confirm that no New Zealander is available to take up that role still holds true at the time of processing. However, with the changes due to COVID-19, there may be New Zealanders who've lost their jobs, there may be businesses who are no longer sustainable, there may be roles which are not needed, and that is the reason why this change or additional requirement has come up. So what does it mean for somebody who's submitted an essential skills work visa application? I'm getting questions like, I've already submitted my essential skills work visa application before the lockdown. So what am I required to do now? Do my employer need to advertise again? Is there any other requirement? So what I would try and explain there is, if you've submitted an application already, you are not actually required to do anything as of now. You don't need to submit anything to immigration. However, please be aware that when the visa officer starts processing the application, they may come back to you asking for additional information. Asking for additional information on the availability of the job still, genuineness of that employment if it still holds true, sustainability of the employment, and that New Zealanders are not available to take up that role. So what does that mean for you is, it really makes sense that if at this stage you go back to your employer to check all these things and be prepared on what to answer when immigration questions. So and what I would suggest is, please get back and check with your employer, is your role still needed? With the changes that have happened post lockdown, do they still need you to take up that role? Is the job still available? That's the first question that you must ask. The second question you must ask your employer is the job sustainable? Is the employer able to sustain your employment? Will they be able to pay your wages long term? Afford your employment? If yes, please tell them to have the information ready when the immigration officer asks later. And the third thing, have they really checked if there are other New Zealanders available to take up that role? Has anybody contacted them? Have they made any efforts to consult with any recruitment agencies, or any other thing that they would have, any additional step that they would have taken to make sure that New Zealanders are still not available, because they have given all this information with the application. However, immigration may again come back and ask for the same. I would say, don't panic, don't stress a lot. This requirement has always been there. For an essential skills work visa, there has always been a requirement that the employer proves that they've tried to hire New Zealanders first. They've tried all their efforts, and when no New Zealander was available, was this position given to you? That has always been the requirement. And what is an additional thing is that immigration may come back and ask for further documents to prove that that's it. Another question that I'm getting from a few of the migrants is that my employer was on wage subsidy. They've availed the wage subsidy given by the government. So does it mean that my employment is not sustainable? So I would say no, it doesn't really matter, because the wage subsidy was given to employers to support them when the revenue fell short by 30%. So that doesn't really mean that the employment is not sustainable. They may have their revenues fallen by 30%, but your role may still be required, and your role may be sustainable for sure. So just don't panic. Make sure that you have this discussion with your employer. So when your application is being processed, when the immigration officer comes up with these questions, you already have the answers ready to provide. So the application could be decided quickly at that stage. Please stay safe. If you need any further clarifications, do get in touch with me. I'll be happy to provide any clarification that I'm able to. If I've been able to clarify your doubts, please do like or give your comments, so that will give me a clarity on whether I did make sense for you, or if there's any other topic that you want me to cover. I would appreciate if you could get back to me on that as well. Thank you so much.